everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I'm winding up this Joy journal, getting it finished, and I'm throwing everything at it but the kitchen sink, so come along with me and hopefully you're making yours too. All right, here we go, the Joy journal. So let me show you what I've been working on. I've just been putting things in to see how much I need to fill it, or if there's gaps and things, and just kind of thinking it through. I didn't think you wanted to watch that, so I didn't tape that until I had a little bit of stuff going on. So what I have here is, I'll just show you, I'll just go through and show you. I just started to put the cards in and some of the things from the kit. I put a couple of cards here, a couple of cards here, one of these tags. And then I loaded this with some of the smaller items. So that was one I had that my sister gave me. And then I've been using some of these Bible verse cards that I have. I always add a lot of those because it's just a good, when you're going through a journal, just pull it out and see what it has to say. So these are, of course, journaling pages. This I left out because I want to create something to tuck it into or something. Not sure yet what to do with it, but I want to put that there. And I've got this tag here, and I want to figure out how to attach it to the page. Haven't figured that out yet. So a couple of tags here. And loaded this up with lots of little things, the little envelopes and just different things. And then this 3-pocket combination here. I just put 3 different tags in it. I put my flower slide in there. And put this in this pocket. I feel like it needs a ribbon or something on it. And, it's ready to have writing put on it. Here's the belly band, and it kind of needs something thick to keep from falling out. So I put the tickets and this envelope, this Joy envelope, which has some of those cards, or this card in it from the kit. And actually, I might as well just put a couple more of these in because they will fit. And then I just tuck the flap in. Whoop. I want to show the bird, or at least the word joy, something. And so journaling. Put this tag up in here. This needs something, I feel like. And then I stuck this in here for now. This needs something here. And this is a frame, so I felt like it needed something in the middle of it, so I was just going to put a little pocket out of a piece of doily or something and just put that in there for there. I have a bunch of these made up, and it's just where I stamped cloth, sewed it to a tag, sewed around the tag, used different inks and my iridescent mica spray on it. Put that in there because it felt like it needed to be tall. And this thing, I loaded up. So, oh, you know what? I forgot one up at the top. It's got so many spots. I think I'll put one up here. But these 2 pockets have something. This has something. And then I put some of these Bible verse cards inside these pockets. So it's got quite a bit going on in there. And this card, I felt like needed to go on this page, but I haven't figured out how to put it on maybe a pocket that needs to be added. And on my last video, I was having such a hard time. I tore both these pages loose, and I fixed one and forgot about the other one until I was laying in bed last night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course the other page is loose too. So I went in there today and put some more cloth tape, some of that Tim Holtz cloth tape, a different pattern on this side, and then I just used regular washi tape on this side with some glue. And what do we got going on? Oh, there's the other page. And this pocket, I've just put a couple of these cards in. And then this pocket was one that I had stuck in, I think, in the last video. So it's got this tag in it. And I think that's it. So I'm going to put a couple pockets in while you're watching me. Let's see if I can remember. I think it was, oh yeah, I was going to do one here. So I've got this piece of doily that I've used before. And so I think, okay, and I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac, if I can figure out what I did with it. I just thinned it down with some acetone. So hopefully it'll be strong enough to hold this. Let's see, oh yeah, here's the right side. Okay. Probably should have ironed that before I glued it on. But hopefully it will smash it out when I have this shut. If it, or not. It might just smash that wrinkle into it. I just keep finding more strings to tie every time I open this thing up. I know a lot of people like to have strings, just loose strings, that they think it's part of the look of the journal, but I just can't go there yet. I can't get there yet. Maybe someday I will. Okay, so there's that. Make sure I don't have any wet spots that are going to glue the pages together. And then I had another place I was going to use a piece of the doily, I think. Oh, I know where it was here. Yeah, I was going to see if I could use a little piece of this some way or other. I might just need it to be the bigger piece. So if I just cut a band of that, and I actually think I'll cut around this stitching. See if I can figure out how to make that work. Maybe just use it as a band or something to hold it on. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay, so, well, actually, how about if I go that way? That looks more like a pocket. And that will show more of the design. Yes, I will do that. Okay. I can get it. Okay, so there's that. And what else did I say I was going to do? Oh, I need something to hold this to this page. So like a pocket. And, oh, let's see. I'm going to look at my journal cards that I have sort of stockpiled here. See if I have anything. Let's see, it's green and blue. Let me see if I have anything. I have this piece that I use some emboss powder on, but it's not quite wide enough. Let me see if I have anything. Let me see if I, oh, here's a bigger one, but it goes sideways. Let's see. I don't want to use pink. That is big enough. I could cut a piece of that and use it. It's almost too similar to the card though. So let me see. What else do I have in here? I have this postcard. It's a printout of a postcard. It says birthday greetings on it, but it's got a cute bird on it. That would be cute. Maybe I'll use that. Okay, let's see. So, put it down here at the bottom because I really do like this paint. I think that came out nice. So if I glue this down here as a pocket, I think I'll cut. I don't really care about the birthday greetings, so I'm just going to cut into it and make it look more like a pocket. Oh, I don't want that. I want the bigger punch. Let's see. Yeah, and that way it takes a little of the emphasis off of the birthday greetings and makes it look like a pocket for real. Okay. I have taught myself to put my glue over in a plastic container that holds it upright so it doesn't, because when I had them up here, I kept sitting them up here and they'd fall over and I wouldn't realize it. And they get glue running all over the place. So I'm pretty happy with myself for being able to pull that off, because I'm not always the most disciplined person. Okay. I had somebody ask a question on YouTube the other day, and they said, well, if you use a digital kit, then does it mean it's not a junk journal? And I said, oh, of course it's a junk journal. There aren't any rules when you make a junk journal. And so I used a kit obviously on this, and still incorporating all sorts of bits and pieces and things that I have found. Oops, that came loose. I better not try to do this too quick. Let me glue this down, leave it alone till it dries. So I think what the kits do is it sort of brings a cohesiveness, especially for us that are doing Jesus junk journals or Bible junk journals, because it's about a subject and it has scriptures and things that, you know, if you were just using junk, you may or may not be able to find all the pieces you wanted for joy. So by me giving you a lot of joy pieces, then you can wrap all your other things you find and accumulate into it to make it interesting. So your journal is going to look completely different than my journal. So that's my answer to that. Let's see, was there anything back here I was going to do? Oh, and the other thing I was going to show you. So when I cut the cover, I cut it out of a pillow sham and just sewed it and made a cover. Well, I had this strip left that I saved, and I was thinking like, now how will I shut this? And I thought, wow, I found this in my drawer. I'm like, oh, I still have this. So I think I'm going to maybe make it narrower on this side. And then I don't know if I'll put a snap or something there and let it come over and fasten on this side, and that'll be the closure for it. So the pillow sham ended up being great. It worked out great for the whole cover on this one. I haven't decided if I'm going to add the word joy to it somewhere. I might put print joy and stitch it on like I do on some of my other ones. Also, I still have these pieces left that I haven't put in yet, but that shouldn't be any problem. I was also contemplating putting a pocket, a cloth pocket here, and putting like some more journal paper in. So I may go back in later and do that. But what I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to take the cloth that I just showed you and make this closure, and then I'll come back and show you that. The other thing was I have this piece of ephemera that I made, and what I did is I just took, I watched somebody else do this. Might have been Pam at the Paper Outpost, and she took two little envelopes and just cut one flap off, took the other flap and stuck it inside and glued it, and then that gave you two envelopes. And then just make little cards to put inside them. So I have a bunch of those, and I thought, well, this might be a cute place to add this. And so you can add it like this with a clip or something like that. And so I was trying to figure out if I wanted to figure a way to put a clip in here, a hidden paper clip. So still thinking about that, but I have some pages here that could use maybe something. So I'm still thinking about that. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off, and I will come back and show you what I'm doing, what I've decided. Okay, so I was going to show you this. So here's the strip that I made out of that scrap. And so I'll put some sort of hooks or something on it and then just sew it back here. So I'm going to go down and iron it, and I'll be back and put the hooks and eyes on and so on and so forth. Okay, so I went down and I pressed this, and so now I am going to fasten this. Trying to figure out exactly where I want it to be. I think I just want it just short of that pink. I want that pink to stay there. So I was looking through my bags. Speaking of junk journaling, I was looking through some junk that I got at a flea market. One of my favorite things to look for is old sewing notions. And I've got a bunch of hooks and eyes and snaps and things like that. So I thought I would see if some of it would work. And hooks and eyes would work. I'd probably want to put two of them. That might be a little... And these, Clinton Gripper. I think you have to have some kind of a gun or something to put these on with. I don't know. My mom used to have one when I was a kid, I think, and you'd squeeze it, and it would mash them on. I could probably do it with a... Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of an applicator that you have to have. These are a hook and eye. That would work. This looks like it's adjustable, like there's 3 different settings on it, which might be enough, except that it's too wide to just put one. I think it's too wide to just put one hook and eye on it, I think. I don't think I like that idea. These are snaps, I think. Yeah, so here's some snaps, and I could just put 2 snaps. That would work okay. Here's some little bitty snaps. Those are too little. And here's some big snaps, bigger snaps. So that, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sew 2 snaps on, one on each side, like 2 here, and then I'm going to stitch this to the back. So let me do that and I'll be back. Okay, so I got the snap sewn on. And I got the strap sewn on. So, snap it. And I sewed it. I ended up sewing it on the inside because it just didn't look really great. So I put it on the inside and sewed it. And so now, like that. And so now I'm looking through and I'm thinking, I gotta cut this off. This thing's been bugging me. I was thinking about, like, I try to go through the checklist, you know, we've talked about that before, and I don't have any metal in here. And so I was looking for places to put grommets, and I got over here to this card and I thought, well, I could put a grommet in the top and in the bottom and kind of treat this like a ribbon slider that you've seen me, I have them in my Etsy shop. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to put a charm somewhere, I think. I'll put a little grommet in the bottom of a page and hang a little charm from it. So as I have said before, I have a what are those things called that put grommets in? I have one, and I don't like it. A crocodile. I do not like it. And it's my own fault, I'm sure. I'm sure it's me doing it wrong. But the ones I have are just a single grommet that you put on with the crocodile, and the one with this kit that I got, you get two pieces. You get a ring and then the grommet. And so it makes a nicer finish, I think. I think I'll use the antique brass or whatever they call it. So I just think it looks better. And maybe the crocodile has those kind too that have the two parts. They probably do, and I just don't know about it. But I'm being stubborn, I guess. I'll go ahead and put another one out there because I'm going to put a hole in the bottom of the page for a charm. So this makes a lot of noise and it upsets my dog, and my husband. He'll come running and say, "Is everything all right up there?" You'd think he'd learn by now. But I have this little hammer. Where is it? Oh, I have this little hammer that actually was my mom's. I have my mom's hammer. Let's see. So you put this circle here, and you put the grommet, the wide piece over it, and then you do it backwards. Let me think. I always do it wrong. Yeah, because the pretty side is going to be with that circle down there. So I'm going to put this over it, put a circle over it. What the? No, you got to go on. Come on. The German Shepherd wants something. Okay, so you put the circle over it. I would put it up where you could see it better, but I don't want to hammer on the glass, obviously. And then it comes with this thing that fits over that, and then you just hammer it. And it gives a really nice finished grommet. And you guys may get that with your crocodile, but I don't. So I'm stuck with this caveman version of a grommet. Okay. Okay, now let's figure out where I want to put one on a page. All right, so I feel better now. I have some grommets in there. The dogs must be getting used to it because they didn't even bark this time. They just laid there. Of course, they're They're better when they're up here with me, which they are right now. Okay, so now I gotta find that page. I think I'm going to put some netting through this. I have some light blue netting. Where did I have this at? And that way I can bring it up through it and kind of spread it out, which I will show you what I'm talking about. This ought to be fun, trying to sew this in to this journal now that it's all put together. But I don't know how else to do it, because I just have to, I have to keep adding to it and seeing what I have, and then adding some more. I just can't visualize everything from the very beginning. I don't know if you'll like that or not. There's my little pocket. This glued in, and that tucked in real nice. Pretty happy with that. And there's that, where I glued that earlier. This is going to keep on sticking, I guess. Well, I lost my place where I was going to put this. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. There isn't a whole lot of blue there. It's really green and purple. There's blue in this. So I think I have some green netting. I'm going to try that. I'll be right back. Well, guess what I just found out? You can't tear tulle like you can fabric. I cut it, started tearing it, and it just went all crazy. So now I know. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a chunk, roughly the height of the page. Let's see. Cut this piece off up here. It's sticking out. Probably too wide to get that whole bunch up in there. So I'm going to chop off a side. Tulle is very forgiving. Which is one reason why I like it. So let's see if this will fit through that grommet. It might be a little much. So what I was going to do is take it and stitch it up here at the top and down here at the bottom. Like that. I mean, it adds a little thickness, but not a whole lot. Okay, so I'm going to go stitch that in on the machine. Yikes. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I stitched it here, and it didn't look good at all. So I realized it needs to be close to the edge. So I took those stitches out and moved the stitches up. Now what it does is it makes it kind of pop up. And I don't think I mind that. Kind of adds a three-dimensional quality to it. And when it's shut, it'll just flatten out. So I think it's okay. So anyway, that's how that turned out. So I have been thinking about these plain brown pages. And so I think what I'm going to do is I was looking at some people who have done watercolor on pages of writing, which is kind of like when I did Bible journaling. It looks cool because the watercolor goes over the picture. I mean, sorry, goes over the Bible words, and it just looks awesome. So what I'm going to do is tear out a hem. Actually, I have some torn out. And I think I'm going to just glue it to the page. Actually, here are the ones on Joy that I had pulled out. I think I'm just going to tear a piece of it and glue it onto the brown paper, and then do some watercolor flowers. So we'll just see how that works out. See how that turns out. This is too wide for the page, so I'm just going to tear it. And I could decoupage it, but I don't really want that finish that it's going to get if I decoupage it to try to paint over. So I am just going to glue it around the edge and just treat it like a base to paint on. Okay, well, duh, I forgot about this. I have this whole palette full of watercolor from like years ago, and watercolor never ruins. It just, you can always wake it up with water. So this has a few colors across here that I can use. So I am going to use those. So let me see if I can find a brush that I like. Let's see. Oh, it looks as good as any. I've got a little bowl of water here. So let me mix up some color. Get just a little bit. Where's that eyedropper my sister gave me? She sent me an eyedropper and I didn't know why, but she said it was to use for acetone. But I'm sure this will work for water too. Yep. Okay. So let's see. I got crimson, alizarin crimson. So I don't really have anything in mind, which is probably not the best way to do this, but let's see what happens. Petaled flowers are pretty simple. Do a little sideways one. Be nice if I had a picture to go by, but that would have been too sensible. So let me just invent a flower here. I'm trying to think what a coneflower looks like, because they're sort of daisy-like. I think they're actually kind of pointy. The petals are kind of squared off, maybe. It has been storming. Last night, the dogs were not happy. We had tornadoes over. We're in Arkansas right next to, really close to Oklahoma, and they had big time tornado warnings last night, I guess, which I slept through. I say a prayer and trust the Lord. I pray a prayer about dominion, because I believe Jesus gave us back dominion over the weather and so on and so forth. Hope that doesn't sound too crazy to you guys. But anyway, I declare and pray and carry on and then go to sleep. And I also don't let myself watch the news or any of those scary documentaries about weather. I found out that's not a good way to build your faith. For believing you're going to avoid the storm. So I don't go there now. Okay, so let me put some green. But now we've got flooding everywhere. The highway had water over it this morning and all sorts of things. Water everywhere. We live in a town where there are springs everywhere. It's called Siloam Springs for a reason. And there's a restaurant called 28 Springs in town, and I guess it must be because there are 28 springs somewhere around here. And I think they are all flooding right now. So we like to go out and look at the high water. That's what we do for entertainment. And so my husband and I drive around and look for flooding in the roads and ponds and lakes and creeks and so on, and ooh and ah over that. The rushing water. Let's see, what do I have here? I've got some burnt sienna, which is a nice brown. Let's see if that helps any. Not really. Let's see, what do I got? I don't have a black, so I'm going to take brown. and some blue, some purple. Okay, well, it's not a work of art, but it's a flower. So I'm going to quit there, let that dry. And let's see. I think I'm pretty much done with the Joy Journal. So I'll probably do a flip through, and then we will move on to the Young Salvation Mini Journal is the next thing up. So thanks for watching. Click like button if you like the video, and think about subscribing. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.